what's going on? My name's Austin, and today we're gonna be messing with Shorty, my little single cab 12 valve cummins swapped. We're gonna be messing with some spicy items here. We got some new injectors, 5x16, some heavy duty Hamilton push rods. They're 750 and up horsepower rating. We got some conical valve springs. These things are supposed to be good for 5,500 RPM and up, with some chromoly retainers. I believe that's what this is. And then we have our 3.5 inch intake pipe and some boost outlet ports, also with an upgraded 3.5 inch intake pipe down to the intercooler, and a 90-degree exhaust manifold with high flow dual port, or not dual port, 2-piece manifold. So this thing's really nice. Get this mocked up. Got something a little special for you guys on how this one's going to work on Shorty and getting it done. So you guys can obviously see how all these parts are before they go on. I'll show you the original parts. So here's the original intake, real restrictive, and that's pretty much it. This thing is like a 2-inch pipe, or 2.5, 2.25. It's around there. So we're gonna beef it up with the 3.5 inch all the way down to the intercooler down at the bottom. We'll do the valve springs under here. We have 4K valve springs, but doing burnouts and stuff, I wanted to do everything a little bit overkill. All that, so we'll get that out. We'll get the injectors out probably in another video. I don't have the tool to pull the injectors today, so we'll do that another day. We'll get after these manifold, after the manifold and the turbo, and I have new bolts for all that stuff, and we'll get it all mocked up and should be ready to go for that part, for the most part down there. And then we'll have to come up with some new turbo piping here. I didn't order any of that stuff because this is going to be moved. All the turbo stuff is going to be moved. And like I said, we'll have something a little bit spicy for you guys here in a little bit. Just got to get this all done. We're probably going to tackle the intake side. As of right now, that's probably the easiest part for me to mess with. And then go after the turbo side next. And then we'll do the valve springs and all that. I missed one extra part. This is the valve cover breather kit that I ordered. This thing's pretty cool. It's from Pure Driven Diesel, I think. I'll have to drop the link below with all the stuff that I got. Besides this part, this was used. But this thing is pretty badass. Dual valve cover breather. I keep having issues with the truck leaking oil all over the place when I'm building boost and too much crankcase pressure. So we're gonna do that. I had a billet tappet cover to go on, but trying to disassemble the whole left side of the, or right side of the engine, trying to get it apart, or left side, sorry, driver's side. It's a pain. So I bought that quick and easy after I do the push rods and valve springs, and we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to show you guys the intake pipe sidewise, so you see how tiny that one is, and we're looking at that big girl right there. And then we also got a grid heater delete, as big as possible. Put that bad boy up there. Start tackling this right now. Clean that out. All right, so we got that new intake in. I had to go run to the hardware store, get some new bolts, some a little bit shorter Allen bolts, and I had to get Allen bolts because they are not as wide as the original bolts, and they would hit the weld on this new pipe. So got it all tightened down, new gaskets, everything. Cut the new boot for this, got the pipe in there, and then bolted up to the intercooler down there. Don't worry about my wires. This is just a little backyard built truck, so everything works. So anywho, so all this is all put into its correct place. The intake side is all done. It looks awesome in there now. A lot more flow. I shouldn't hit anything with the hood. If I do, we'll have to cut a little bit of the support out, maybe right there. But now we'll continue on to the exhaust side now. Just assembling this a little bit, and hopefully this side goes smoothly. Alright, so we got the turbo out. Now to start tackling the manifold. Get that removed. Alright, so we got the exhaust manifold off, and now we got some stainless steel bolts. I believe they're stainless steel, I might be wrong. But stainless steel bolts from Smeding Diesel. And we're going to stick them in there, the studs, and then we'll do the gaskets, and then we'll get the exhaust manifold on, and put the washer and nut on, and we'll wrap it up on the next part. Alright, so we got the exhaust manifold all on there. Real nice. Forgot who this exhaust manifold is from. DPS. So it's a square or rectangular exhaust holes, which is real nice. 2-piece. And it's supposed to be like a 90 turnout. It's supposed to go back here, down. No, I did not install this wrong. Well, technically it's wrong on the way it was sold for, but we're doing something a little different here. That's where the little surprise is coming from. So we got the new bolts in, the stainless bolts, all tightened up, real nice. And then the oil feed line that we'll have here, we'll do a 90. I'll flip that hose around that I already have. Already spent all the money on. I'm gonna do a 90 out, and we don't have to worry about anything getting hot here. I ordered a custom blanket to cover the exhaust manifold from anything getting hot in here, so we're all good with that. Now let me go ahead and start finishing up the last little touch on this thing, so you guys get to see what stuff I'm doing here. Alright, so this is where test fitting comes into play. So this is where the turbo might sit. I need more spacers that I had purchased. It should sit offset from the hood. When the hood comes down, it'll stick out. So should stick out about half of that turbo, at least. Half mooning, which is the way I wanted it to be. So, but with test fitting, I don't think it's going to work with this manifold. I think it would have been better off with the original manifold and then flipping that upside down and making that work instead of this manifold. And with that manifold, due to it not being a 90 out, it's off to the side a little bit. It would have kicked the turbo out this way and would make it more displaced on this side without being all cramped up here. So, like I said, all test fitting here. I'm learning as I go, and that's how custom work goes down. So, I'll see what I can do right now. Probably put the original manifold back on, more testing, and go from there. Alright, so we got the manifold all set up. The stainless steel bolts and the oil feed hose. I'll have a 90 coming around. I'll have my exhaust manifold heat wrap going around this thing, or blanket. I have a blanket coming. So this stuff will not burn anything around it for the most part. So that's done. We have some more turbo parts ordered. With some 45-degree custom made angles and another 45 to position the turbo more in this general area, like right about here, versus it being right here in the center. It looked kind of goofy. That's not the way I want the truck to look. I only want to do it one time, so we gotta make it perfect, and then we'll start closing the hood down and start cutting it and stuff, stick the turbo out. So that part's done for the most part. Now we're on to doing valve springs and bigger push rods. I have to take an air hammer and smash the cowling back there, or firewall, to get number 6 out. When we did the 60-pound valve springs in this thing, we actually had the cab off when we did that. I'm not pulling the cab off again and then trying to set this up. So we'll check out the new valve springs more in depth on that one. So we got the Hamilton push rods here for 12 valve. This is 750 horsepower plus push rods. So these dudes will take the abuse of all the RPM with burnout stuff and all that. Good with that. These are conical, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, conical valve springs. These are obviously or some people call them like the honeycomb or something like that. So the top side's smaller and then it gets bigger as it goes down. Reason for these, the vibration gets disturbed due to the sizing of these going down. So the 60 pounders, they're all the same loop around, and they actually show some videos on, I think it's power driven diesel, that's where these are from. They show the vibration of those are like constantly bouncing up and down, and the valve is actually just vibrating a lot too. So that's how a valve will break inside the motor. So these ones, they show a vibration test and they get to about the third one and then it stops and it doesn't vibrate the rest of this thing. And you can see the valve on the inside staying pretty steady. So good on that. Start smashing that firewall real quick and get some new parts in there. All right, so we got the brand new injectors in here, the 5x116s, brand new washers, I guess these would be called. Valve springs are in. Look at those bad boys. Push rods in. Everything is valve lashed, all done. So top side of the engine, 100% done now. I didn't get to do too much talking in between doing everything in the garage. Is about 110 degrees, so me and my buddy were both about to pass out in here trying to get this stuff done. Spent about 5 hours doing everything on this top side, making sure it's dialed. We don't have to take these things, those valve covers off, hopefully. I'll probably have to do like a break-in period where I can beat it up for 1 day or 2 maybe, and then take everything off and recheck valve lash again. And hopefully it's good. But there will be a recheck for sure. I'll be definitely just doing that just for OCD purposes. Weird like that. I'd rather have my stuff dialed when everything is broken in and just recheck it, just get it done. It's not going to hurt it. So with that being said, we got brand new valve cover gaskets. I love using Felpro because you can use it a couple times. After the burnout competition and some other little burnouts, everything has gotten hot, so I wasn't able to reuse my old ones, so we got new ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those on. We'll put the brand new breather system on it too, and that'll be it for this day. We'll continue on another day, still in the same video, picking up from there. Alright, so we got the valve covers on with new gaskets for these bolts. These ones, this breather system comes with its own rubber bushings here for sealing. We had the breather on. I thought it could be clocked, but I guess not. It has a groove specially for one of the sides to fit, so this is what we're going to work with. I dropped a socket. So this is alright, so we can route the hose this way and over here to a catch can out of the way. I have to be careful on how I route the turbo. I don't think we'll run into any issues on how I route it this way, and it's not getting sucked up into the turbo. I have PTSD on that when I was younger. My dad was drag racing, and I had a job to route a hose that went kind of in front of the turbo, and I didn't do the best of securing, and it went through the turbo and destroyed the turbo. And luckily it wasn't bad, didn't destroy the motor. But there's that, that's done. That's all I'm doing for tonight. Another thing too, real quick, they did ask for really good oil to be used in the truck due to the high pressure with the seats, or seat pressure with the new valve springs. They asked for some really good oil to be put in it. So this is from Hot Shot. I see everybody using this stuff, so I bought the lower brand of it. There's like 3 levels of it, but this thing having the friction modifier, I believe that's what the FR3 is. It is a lot better than any other oil that doesn't have any of that stuff, and it's full synthetic out of all things. The other stuff I didn't really see going that expensive with. This alone right here was $140, and then Baldwin filter. I did a lot of research on these. It's bigger than the original filter, a little better filtration, all around really good filter to use. I've never really been big into researching filter stuff or oil stuff really, besides just use full synthetic and that's it. But this one with the friction modifier helps with, like, you know, the cam and stuff. All that tight clearance stuff lives a lot longer, especially with us doing burnouts and stuff. This is the stuff to use. And the reason I didn't want to go any more expensive than that, these were like $38 a gallon. The other one goes like $55, and then it's $75 a gallon. I'm probably going to have to do an oil change with my OCD side. It's probably maybe 2 burnouts, 3 burnouts. It depends on how hard we drive the truck for the burnout contest and all that stuff. You can say that, oh, you shouldn't be really doing that. Well, maintenance is key. Got to keep the motor going good. Got to keep the oil fresh. Everything. I'll just keep doing this stuff. versus other stuff being $200 and then it goes up to almost $300 in oil. Yeah, that I won't do, but this I will. So everyone, each to their own on how they want to change their oil. It's all good for you guys. But that's it for this night. On to the next. Alright, it's been a couple days that I've been off the truck for. So I don't know where I left off last. So we obviously got the new intake on, 3.5 inch. I got the new breather on and everything. All that stuff is all set up and whatnot. So I've been messing with this turbo kit. Well, one turbo, and then I got bored and then grabbed something else. And this is a contraption I came up with. So this is not going to stay like this. This is for my other truck, but it was fun to test it out on this truck to see what the future was to be with that motor over here. But as of right now, this is what we're going to work with. This is where the turbo is going to sit for this one, and then this is the compound kit that I had. So this is a 75 down here, big old whirly boy. So this is how it may set up on the other truck with the turbo sticking out and then the piping. So give you guys a little lookies. Beautiful. And it somehow lines right up with the downpipe almost. It's kind of just bound up. I gotta push it back. Maybe cut it off and then do a band clamp on the back of this to that. So, you know, I like the little inspiration of it sticking out and everyone just thinking it's just a single turbo. But I'd have to when it goes on the other truck, I'll have to cut this and make it look like it's a air filter with this pipe coming inside, so it's breathing down in here. But then when you open the hood, you actually have a compound, and then you'll have the turbo half mooning out of the hood, like yay. But like I said, there's gonna be a pipe coming down and in, but I'm just gonna tell people it's just an air filter when it's not. It's to that other air filter right there. So yeah, but anyways, I gotta take this all off right now. Get this out of here, and this thing is freaking heavy. This is heavy. But so the plan is to leave it at the height that it is right now currently for the most part, and then do a hood exit out. I don't know if I'm going to do like a tractor flap to keep water from going in. Same thing with this thing. I might just need to I'll still cut the hood to where like an air filter comes down and inside. Just a nice real cut down in here, because I don't want water going in or in on the other side if I ever daily drive it, because that'd be just my only concern for dailying it. I'd like to use my own truck, but yeah. So the lines even work too. There's a big old feed line that would actually bolt right up down at the bottom. It worked great too. And then we got my other feed lines. You know, we would have a feed line here, feeds into this one. I don't know which way it goes. And we got our upper one going into there, down yonder. And we got some more cool things. Manifold blanket that we got here. This is a little different. I don't like heat around other items, so that's what we're putting on. Put the blanket on, and then we'll put the turbo blankets back on, and then we'll have to start routing the breather system up into one of these corners over here real nicely. And yeah, let me get after this. Let me get this taken off, and I don't have anything to cut the hood today, but I'll probably start taking some pen marks. Or I should probably actually clock the turbo, because I don't really like how, so when you look at it from the side, it's really raked up on the front side for the most part. Alright, it's like 3 weeks later after some of the other videos in this video have been made. took a big break on this truck. I missed a lot of stuff that I needed to do. We blew up the motor in my 6.7, put a brand new motor in this thing. It's been pretty stressful, got that done. But in this truck, I don't know where I left off, but we got the 3.5 intake with the brand new boots all the way down to the intercooler. Boost sensor is now here. We're speeding on the turbo. Breather is clocked to the correct angle now where it goes back there. We'll have this breather going on soon in another video. But this is the turbo. This is how I mocked it up. I did a manifold blanket. I haven't wrapped the exhaust elbows yet. Oil lines are all heat wrapped from here down to the bottom. The main drain, I put an extension. It's somewhere in here. You can't see it. And then it's wrapped all the way down there. Turbo blanket back on it. A hood stack that I just had randomly laying around, and some crappy welds because I suck at welding. And then we put a massive hole in the hood and got that all done. This thing absolutely rips as of right now. Just some small little test drives. I will put a clip of it running here in a couple seconds. I'm just going to close the hood to show you guys how the turbo looks coming out of the hood. I think that looks pretty sick. So that's how that comes out. No issues so far. I ordered a screen to go over right here. I am a little bit worried about things getting sucked into it. I wasn't at first, and like the first day pulling it out of the garage, I almost sucked the string right into it. So that's one way to destroy a turbo very quickly. But we'll cut into a small clip of it kind of idling and then drive it, and then a little bit into the boost, about 20 psi in some of the videos. So enjoy for the 1 minute of video I got. Alright, that's all I got for today on Shorty. We're going to be doing another video on some other little piddly stuff, just like getting the lights working again in the rear, the breather catch can, fix the RPM gauge inside. It seems a bit dim. I got to rewire some stuff. But yeah, guys, hope you guys like this and keep going. Peace.